What's up, everyone, and welcome to ClearTalk. All right, so today I'm going to be talking about some more local news for me that is actually kind of blowing up into more kind of national news, and I feel like it's warranted. There was a student, a black student, at Delta State University here in Mississippi that was found a few days ago hanging from a tree. So we're going to talk about that. And also another person that was found hanging in Mississippi also the past few days. And then about something that I find very interesting and coincidental, and I'm going to let you be the judge. So thank you very much for being here today. If you are brand new to the channel, welcome. If you would like, check out more from the channel, videos and stuff. Consider subscribing, like, share, all that good stuff. That'd be amazing. Also, check out my other channels, Drummer, Play, Puzzling. Subscribe to those as well. That would be fantastic. It helps out the channels, helps me, helps the JMD Nation all together. It's free for you. So that would be great. And if you want to kind of do any kinds of support, whether it's ongoing or one time, any kind of support you give is very much appreciated. I thank you very much. And if you're returning, you're freaking amazing. Come back. Keep coming back. Welcome. So let's get over to it. We have Mississippi University student found hanging on campus with no signs of foul play, but families raised questions. The death of a black student found hanging on Delta State University in Mississippi this week is raising questions, and the university's police chief hopes to have some answers by the end of the week. We ask for continuing patience and compassion for this investigation proceeding, Chief Michael Peeler said in a news conference Wednesday. The body, Demartravion, or short Trey Reed, 21, was found Monday morning hanging from a tree near the university's pickleball courts. The incident led the university president to acknowledge that the scene and image could be upsetting for some students given the history of racial violence in the Jim Crow South. An autopsy is being performed at the Mississippi State Crime Laboratory. Preliminary results should be available in the next few days. Investigators say they have found no signs of foul play so far. Based on the preliminary examination, we can confirm that the deceased did not suffer any lacerations, contusions, compound fractures, broken bones, or injuries consistent with an assault, said Bolivar County Coroner Randolph or Rudy Seals Jr. in a written statement. Pillar added that they are looking at visual evidence in the case. There are videos, and they are in the hands of the investigative team. Families seek transparency. Delta State President Dan Ennis, asked for calm as the investigation continues, but said he understands why people want immediate answers. We recognize that this is not only about facts, it is about emotions, and it's about feelings and the way this loss and how it was discovered affects people's lives. Family members of Reed retained civil rights attorney Ben Crump, his office announced Tuesday. We cannot accept vague conclusions when so many questions remain, Crump says. I will stand with this family, and I will lead a team of civil rights leaders and organizations in pursuing transparency and answers for Trey's family. Crump is demanding that all video footage related to the death investigation be shown to the family. Additional, Crump and Reed's family will commission an independent autopsy to verify the findings of the state medical examiner and ensure no question goes unanswered. Delta State is in Cleveland, a northwestern Mississippi town about 150 15 miles from Memphis, Tennessee. It's roughly about 100 miles from my house, I think. Maybe not even that. Something like that. Maybe less than that. More like maybe 75 miles or so from where I live. It's enrolled last year. That actually was corrected, but it's not really that important. The university reported nearly 43% of the enrolled students were black. Figures for this academic year have not been released. Since the news of Reed's death became widely spread on social media, Enos said the campus has increased law enforcement presence in response to threats. An event celebrating the 100th anniversary of the university is scheduled for Monday, but is canceled after Reed's remains were discovered. Case has disturbing historical context. Enos, who is white, said he understands why the circumstances of Reed's death are especially troublesome to many students. I admit that I am not adequate to speak to the imagery that this incident raises and acknowledge my weakness in that regard. The Cleveland Police Department is now the lead agency in the investigation. Pillar said the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation is insisting. A spokesperson confirmed to CNN but declined to give any details on the case. Is assisting. Family members said Tuesday that Reed was excited about his future and they had seen no signs to cause concern. When he went back to Delta State University, he was a fun-loving person, and our question is what happened, said family attorney Vanessa J. Jones. The call for a more intensive investigation was echoed by the member of Congress who represent the area, Benny Thompson. We must leave no stone unturned in the search for answers. I actually believe this is a part of his district, if I'm not mistaken. While the details of this case are still emerging, we cannot ignore Mississippi's painful history of lynching and racial violence against African Americans. Thomas is requesting that Trump administration open a federal investigation. I will get it out. Into Reed's death, the administration confirmed that it had received Thompson's request but has not yet responded to it. Thompson Press Secretary Yasmin Brown told CNN on Wednesday. That would be interesting to see if they do. A decade ago, federal agents investigated the death of Otis Byrd, a 54-year-old man found hanging from a tree in rural Claiborne County, Mississippi. The Justice Department closed the case in 2015 after determining there was no evidence to prove that Byrd's death was a homicide. Reed's remains were discovered only hours before another Mississippi resident was found hanging more than 100 miles away. The body of Corey Zukatis, was found in Vicksburg Monday afternoon. According to the Vicksburg Post, the death of Zukatis, a 35-year-old white man, was not believed to be connected to the Reed case. Despite the shocking death and Delta State reports of threats directed at the school, Pillar says students on campus are safe. This is an isolated incident. Yes, there have been reports. I've seen some people claiming that there have been 2 black men hanged. That to me seems to be false. I have not found any other, and I mean, unless it's in another state, and I'm just not finding it. Although I did a wide search, and nothing came up other than this young man here in Mississippi in the past few days. Because I was seeing where people were saying there have been 2 black men hung in recent days. And even 2 black men hung in Mississippi. That seems to not be correct. The one in Vicksburg was a white man, but there is an interesting fact to this. He was a white man that was apparently, from what I am seeing, was potentially homeless. And that's going to be important as I talk further. But there are some reporting around the whole case on Trey here, where there's been some weird, like, if there was reporting that at first the family, or the original story was that he was found in like his dorm room, but then it later came out that it was actually found in from hanging from a tree. So that is very kind of odd. I'm not sure if it's just bad reporting at first, or that there was a potential or initial attempt to cover up. There also, with the statement that there were no lacerations, contusions, compound fractures, broken bones, or anything like that as signs of assault. There are other people that are claiming that that is false. Like there were clear signs. I think people maybe that were that saw the incident, like saw, or saying that that did look like he was assaulted. So, and I think that's what's driving this question from the family, outside of just, the kind of duh factor that this is Mississippi. This is the Deep South. There is a history there that cannot be like completely ignored. There are still deeply racist people in this state. I don't care how much people want to argue that racism is not a thing anymore, or that it's not that serious of a thing anymore. That is bullshit. I live here in Mississippi. I have lived here my entire fucking life. Racism is still strong. Is it as strong as it used to be? No. It is getting better. As much as you can say racism is getting better. But there are still deeply racist or prejudiced people in this state, in the Deep South. Not even just in this state, just Deep South in general. It is a part of what I like to think is a dying culture. But nonetheless, and I really should be, I thought there was a picture of him, but I guess not this article didn't have a picture. But nonetheless, it is, an issue here. Now, I certainly hope that there is success in getting an alternate investigation, an autopsy done to verify the findings, because, I'm not going to lie, I have no trust in even local authorities. I wouldn't. Especially if I was the family here. It's just, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? You want to know all the details. And there's no reason to argue that they shouldn't, or that they should just accept. No one would. I don't care what race you are or whatever. Nobody would accept just some initial findings or whatever. Like, you want to know any possibility of anything happening, and while I know there's clear argument that, they say that there was no signs, he seemed, like a happy kid, ready, for his future and whatnot. And people, will easily say, oh, well, that's nobody ever really sees it. Nobody ever really, knows and what somebody's going through or on their mind, and they can just flip on a switch and whatnot. And well, that is true. For a young black male in the deep in this case, Delta South of Mississippi, to knowingly choose to end their life in this specific way. That's very unlikely. Very unlikely. Okay. I mean, when there are so many other different choices to be had there, if you wanted to, right? To do it that specific way. But this is there's something also very interesting about this, because this comes in the shadow of all of the things, if we broaden out all the things going on here recently in America, ever since the Charlie Kirk shooting, and how there is this massive like enclave of aggression and incitement going on the right, on the alt-right, on the entire right, really. But it's mostly the far alt-right, like hyper MAGA and all that going on. And this is all the way up through the administration and personalities on social media and everything that are bringing up all kinds of stuff to go after, people who are saying any kind of negative thing about Charlie Kirk, to the continued push on opposition from against the Trump administration, attacking Trump or saying anything negative about Trump, which I'm going to do a video separate on all of that. But on the ongoing of all that in going on in America within the past week, and something very interesting came out just days before even this event happening here in Mississippi. And that is this. This is a MAGA rapper I'm just finding out about, honestly. I had no clue that this dude existed, although, I mean, I thought that, one of the bigger rappers right now that was kind of, going all in with Trump or seemingly or whatever was like McDonald. And it was extremely annoying for me, because at one time I actually kind of liked McDonald, but then things shifted and I'm like, whoa, bro, like this is you're losing me here. This guy, Forgiato Blow, is a self-proclaimed MAGA rapper. As you see here, his page is Mayor of MAGAville. Okay. This is not him. This is JJ Lawhorn, I guess. And this song was released on the 12th. And it's called Good versus Evil. I'm not going to play the entire thing. But if you want to listen to the entire thing, and as much as I really don't want to bring that much interest to this video, because it, it actually helps him out, unfortunately. But This is the kind of shit that is crazy to me, how there was so much of a, hatred in the far right, or in the right in general, at like cancel culture and shit, just not 5-6 years ago or so, and how and then we're talking about the them being upset right now over political violence and stuff, and then acting like it's this is all wrong, but yet they've been known for political violence for decades, and have the biggest track record for political violence, like overwhelmingly. This is the kind of shit that is being put out there. Let me just I'm going to play a few seconds of it. What I find really interesting here is you see him step, and it purposely shows some bullet casings here, which kind of somewhat isn't in line with what the message in this song is ultimately about, but it's like an alternative, I guess. Like, hey, or maybe instead of doing this, do this. Maybe that's what the point is. Like, this is too easy. Let's do something that's gonna be more, I don't know, effective maybe, or like get the point across or something, or like something more vile. I don't know, but let's continue. I'm sorry. I should have stopped it earlier. This is Forgiato Blow. And you see the Trump thing. All right. Sorry. We need a big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang them up high and sundown. Leave them swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town. A big Okay. You hear that? Talking about getting a rope, hanging it from a tree at sundown. Let them know that you don't mess around in our town. Promoting the idea of hanging at sundown, which is the whole, like, a part of the Jim Crow South, the hanging and, history, to do it at sundown. Places were called sundown towns, because the idea is you won't get seen. It won't get seen to the next morning. It'll be like, it's a new day kind of thing. The idea of seeing something like that first thing in the morning, the vileness of it. This is what we're talking about. This is what's being put out there as art. And on top of that, it's being done in a form of musical art that was created by the African American community, by the black community. Something that they created in talking, in expressing their, whatever, their feelings, their lives, their situations, whatnot, blah blah blah, and whatever the case, however, and being used against them and the community at large to promote something that was a vile act against their community. Like this, the insanity of this isn't crazy to me. But this is something that's being put out. This guy even goes on to speak about how with all these things, like all these things like mothers and children dying and blah, blah, blah. But then he goes on to say, like, vengeance is the Lord's, but justice is not a sin. Saying that this is justice and that this is not a sin. Hanging somebody because you don't like them or that you feel that they are some kind of threat to you, supposedly, I guess, is not a sin. That yes, vengeance is the Lord's, but we can carry it out if we want. Justice is ours. We're going to go ahead and take care of it now, and the Lord can figure it out once they're up there. Or whatever. This, I can tell you how, I just can't, I don't know how to, I don't know how to express how fucking ignorant and vile and just pathetic this is. And how this kind of fucking mentality is still existing in 2025. It is so disturbing and depressing, because I am a part of the Deep South. I have grown up here. It is a part of me, and it's like I feel on some layer or some level of like the beauty of the landscape around here, and like, I mean, my state is called the hospitality state. Like, I grew up in this idea that we are, friendly people. We're hospitable. We take care of each other. In I thought this was in a general sense, but then as you grow up and you learn about the history of the country and this area specifically, and you're like, what the fuck? And then. And did we really do this? And then I'm starting to pinpoint like things together in my life, and people I've been around and things I've heard and all this good shit. And then and to think that still in 2025, this type of fucking mentality is still existing and being promoted and putting out there as fucking art. There's 154,000 subscribers to this fucking page. I can't even hit. I sit here on my fucking channel talking about how trying to take care of people, how to be good to people, how to be nicer to people, how to stop this type of violence and this type of act. I talk about about trying to better the fucking country and all this kind of shit, and yet I can't even fucking hit 100 people, or 154 people. This motherfucker has 154,000 subscribers. For spewing fucking hate speech. I'm trying to talk about compassion and love and support and all this stuff. This motherfucker is hate speech. Fuck it. Fuck him. Now, I bring all that up. It's like I said, just coincidentally, that video was released a few days before this incident in Mississippi. Now, are they connected? I don't fucking know. I don't know. But it seems awful coincidental. Maybe even borderline suspicious. Now, it points out, and people were pointing out that that video is not it's not like directly like or completely encapsulating like violence or that type of act just to the black community. It's like to anybody that we don't like, or in general, or that's we feel are destroying our country. And while that might be true, there is direct statements to that insinuate that it's directed very much at the black community, at least to some degree. And then there might be a broader aspect to it in general. And that's where I'm going to fall into the second hanging in Mississippi. The fact that it was reportedly, from my understanding, a homeless man or someone that, at least to some degree, was without a home. And, outside of immigrants and people that, what is one of the other big things that conservatives attack that they don't like, that they would like to see disappeared? And that is the homeless, the uglies, the disgusting of our community that we don't want to see. I mean, pretty much anybody that is considered a minority, anybody that's not a, well-to-do white man of America. That if they feel that you're not contributing to society in a way that they deem adequate, or in their favor at least, they'd rather see you gone. You're worthless. Now, like I said, the two hangings don't seem to be connected. I don't see how you could connect them. And even to this video being put out, could it be connected? I mean, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But if you're arguing that, you shouldn't be making this about race when it comes to this, to Trey, that this is just ridiculous and that these families should just accept what, the authorities are saying and not make this about race and going after. It's because, I mean, this, that's history. That's back in the past. We don't do that here in Mississippi any fucking more. I have a fucking video to show you that says very fucking different. That this shit does still exist. People still have this mentality. It's pathetic and ignorant as it is. So yes, I hope that this family gets all the help they can get, all the, that gets the answers that they're asking for, whatever they may reveal. Because they do deserve that. And regardless of whether or not this is revealed to be something of with foul play or not, this type of mentality that is being expressed in good versus evil, that needs to die. That mentality needs to die. It needs to get... If there is anything that needs to be canceled in this fucking world, that's certainly on the list. If there is a list of things that actually genuinely should be fucking canceled, that's on the list. Thank you very much for joining me. Until next time, peace. Clear Talk with love. I'm out.